That is all. Court is adjourned. Objection? No?
Objection!
Yes! Thank you, Kazuma. Me? If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have made this 11th hour discovery. What discovery? My lord, I'm afraid I must insist the trial continues. I beg your pardon. As the court has been reminded today already, we must stop at nothing to uncover the whole truth. And to that end, one particular statement made by somebody in this courtroom moments ago revealed a very subtle contradiction. What contradiction? But all I did was ask the accused one simple question. Well, it began with Lord Van Zieks and his recollection about his brother, but Lord Strongheart didn't permit the defendant to speak at length. I merely pointed out that we can draw no further useful conclusions here, so where on earth is this contradiction? One of them definitely just said something contradictory. It's time to identify who. It was Lord Strongheart, I'm sure of it. Something he said was slightly off. Come on, Ryunosuke, think back over his words. Find the problem. Yeah. We cannot hope to reach a conclusion, yes. Only 2 evidence left. The woe-begone ring. And the 3-page last will. Lord Strongheart, would you care to explain? Explain what, counsel? Among the statements you made just a few moments ago, something you said was inconsistent with a certain piece of evidence. Inconsistent? And once an inconsistency remains, the defense has a right to pursue an explanation. Ryunosuke, what? Let me warn you about the statements you are making, counsel. They may very well prove fatal. You claim my words contained a contradiction. With which piece of evidence, I ask you? The Azuki Papers. This here is the will left behind by Mr. Azuki. The 2-paged will. What? Yet moments ago, your precise words were the 3-paged last will and testament. Could it be that originally there was a 3rd page? For a moment, I thought perhaps you'd identified something worthwhile, but it's a mere trifle, I see. A trifle? Governor Caden? What can I do for you, sir? You were present when the Japanese man penned his last will and testament. I was there for sure. I remember the black scrolls to this day. And I'm quite certain, my lord, that there was a 3rd page at the time. What? Only the first 2 pages were the actual will, though. If I mind correctly, the 3rd was a message to his lad back in Japan. For legal purposes, we required only his will. And we wouldn't have wanted any uncomfortable words about Britain to get back to Japan, eh? So it was decided that his 3rd page ought to be sent.
Objection!
How dare you make that decision? I had a right to know what it said, to hear my father's final words to me. The courtroom is no place for sentimentality, counsel. As it happens, I have the 3rd page of the document with me here now. My father's message. It will be given to you at the end of these proceedings. It'll be too late once the trial is over. We need to know what it says now. Even the slightest thing may give us a vital clue. My lord, the defense calls for Genshin Azuki's last words to his son to be read out aloud before the court now. Your request is denied. The inevitably maudlin words can be of no consequence now.
Objection!
The prosecution agrees. The court should know the content of that message. Every possible piece of evidence must be thoroughly examined. Very well then, Governor Caden. You will read the third page.
Yes, sir. Only I should point out, my lord,
That I can actually read worm language. Worm language? This beautiful handwriting. Shame on you, Barry. Who's that? Oh, yeah. Mikotoba. If I could be of assistance here, I would be happy to translate the words into English for the court. Father? You're still here, are you, Dr. Mikotoba? Naturally, I consider myself a member of the judiciary, albeit a lowly one. But perhaps I should quietly withdraw after I've translated Genshin's message. Your cooperation is much appreciated. Kazuma, the truth is shrouded in darkness, a darkness only our clan's great sword can pierce. Mighty Karuma, twist thy head and watch them fall, all thy mortal foes. What? That's the end of the message, it would seem. A haiku poem? Twist thy head? Is it really a haiku? Oh yeah, 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables again? Wait, he translated a Japanese haiku into an English haiku? That's pretty impressive. What is Karuma? The name of the Azuki clan's famous sword. A razor-sharp blade known to all, passed down for generations. It embodies the Japanese spirit. It's not known to me. Does it matter? It's the katana sword that was submitted as evidence earlier in these proceedings. The one worn by the prosecution counsel when he confronted Inspector Gregson. All these procrastinations are beginning to try my patience. Adjournment of this court is long overdue. As the presiding judge, I have been as accommodating as possible of the will of the courtroom. However, despite all that, no new information has come to light. In pursuit of justice, Lord Clint Van Zieks tragically lost all sense of morality. When he murdered his former mentor, clearly he was already devoid of his normal faculties.
Objection!
How dare you! I refuse to believe that of my brother. Too much time has passed. We cannot ever hope to know more than we do now. Especially since the alleged world that he penned in his final moments appears to have been lost forever. Lord Strongheart, you appear to be in something of a hurry to wrap things up. I wonder why. We've heard you say time and again during these proceedings that everything you did was in the interests of protecting British law and order. And I stand by that. Without the Reaper, we could never have achieved the reduction in crime the capital has seen.
Objection!
What about Inspector Gregson then? And Dr. Wilson. They were no criminals. You used them to achieve your ends and then you had them killed. However you dress it up, there was nothing fair or just about that. Lord Strongheart, what exactly is it that you're hiding? Dr. Mikotoba, were you not to quietly withdraw after the translation? In this courtroom, no argument carries weight unless it is supported by evidence. And it would seem that the defense has no more evidence to present. In which case, I hereby order all discourse from these proceedings to be struck from the record. Ooh. This is my last chance. Mr. Naruhodō, I have to present some decisive evidence now or it's all over. But can I? Can I? Decisive evidence? Decisive evidence for what, actually? About Lord Strongheart involved in the killings of Gregson and Wilson? What? There's no penalty, right? I can just wait and see. Or present evidence. If the Reaper was really Strongheart, then he's the one who sent a telegram. Maybe. What? Shall we present the telegram? Is it really decisive evidence? I mean, it doesn't even say about killings and stuff. But I guess the truth is yishn did kill Jay Wilson. The assassin exchange. Wait, my lord. As it happens, the defense does have evidence to present. What? Don't be absurd. There's nothing of relevance remaining from the time.
Objection!
It's high time that you realize something, my lord. This gentleman has an uncanny habit of producing evidence at the final hour that had escaped everyone else's attention. I thought he was about to say that I had a habit of bluffing my way through the court. Nonsense. What is it, Ryunosuke? What do you have? I dare say the final decisive piece of evidence that will reveal the whole truth about this rotten tale. How can you... Decisive? Well, it would appear there's no escaping it now, my lord. Let it be so then. Present whatever you think you have that can settle this decade-old enigma if you're capable. What exactly is this evidence that the defense claims to be so decisive? I thought the telegram, but you wanted me to present some evidence from that time. Oh, we have yet to investigate Karuma. The Great Blade, such a thing of beauty. Now, what do you want me to twist? The handle? Mighty Karuma, twist thy head and watch them fall, all thy mortal foes. That's the proper way to use the sword, is it? Maybe I should try it. It hurts my neck, that's the trouble. Mr. Naruhodō, if I might make a suggestion, I think perhaps it doesn't mean your head. I was wondering, what is he babbling about? Okay, I see. I once studied the history and development of the katana some time ago, and as I'm sure you're probably aware, the sword's head is the part at the very end of the hilt. It's written as head in Japanese, but it's pronounced as kashira, I believe. Oh, okay. That's the weirdness of Japanese again. Like, the same kanji have different pronunciations. Kashira. So Mr. Azuki's words really mean twist the butt of the hilt? You don't think... Ah, look what's inside it. Is that a tightly wound sheet of parchment? The missing document, scarlet ink, it's written in scarlet ink. I penned this, my last will and testament, in the final moments before my inevitable will and willing death. It was a willing death. This is it, isn't it? Mr. Naruhodō, look at his signature. Clint Van Zieks, and the date. 10 years ago. Oh, wait, it was 10 years ago. Hold on. Then Baruch Van Zieks was 23. So for 10 years it's been silently concealed inside Karuma and nobody knew. The last will and testament of Lord Clint Van Zieks. Wait. Oh my goodness. Look at this. This is unbelievable. Is it a testament? I thought it was a confession. What is it? What is it, game? A trump card left behind by Genshin Azuki. I cannot read this. Okay, I need to present it.
Take that!
There's a single piece of evidence that can clarify what really happened 10 years ago. The last will and testament of Lord Clint Van Zieks. Huh, a wonderfully astute observation, I'm sure. But in case it has escaped your notice, that document was lost long ago. That's right, it was. Only... I have it right here, discovered just moments ago. Impossible, that can't be. Everything that's happened comes back to this will. This document is the key that will unlock the entire mystery. My brother's last will and testament? Where did you find that? It was rolled up inside this. Inside Karuma. That ultimate weapon Genshin Azuki obtained has lain undisturbed in the hilt of this sword all these years. Just waiting for the right time to emerge and reveal the truth.
The signature and seal certainly look official.
My God, it's true. It's my brother's handwriting, there can be no mistake. I forbid the contents of that document from being read out. Do you hear me? I strictly forbid it.
Objection!
You can't do that, my lord. This document could explain everything. That document could literally destroy the meaning of justice in this country. And this is crazy, I can't even inspect it, even though I have it in my hand. I demand that you hand it to me at once. He's sweating! Why? What are you trying to hide? Could it be that you already know what's written on this page? Of course he does. He was there when No, he wasn't there. Wait. This is the testament of Clint, not of Genshin. What are you implying? Court is adjourned with immediate effect. Clear the courtroom.
Objection!
Oh, do that, my lord, and you'll suffer a fatal blow as Lord Chief Justice. I beg your pardon. Forcibly ending a trial without good reason, and not any trial, a closed trial by order of Her Majesty the Queen. To defy the monarch's will is treason.
Ryunosuke really did repent and will that day.
It's exactly as the young Japanese man said. Read it out now. We have a right to hear what's in that will, a right and a duty.
Well, my lord, it would rather appear that the proceedings aren't going to go quite as you'd hoped.
You fools. Go ahead, Ryunosuke, read it. The prosecution gives its full support. Very well then. We're just ignoring Strongheart? No, for God's sake. No! I penned this, my last will and testament, in the final moments before my inevitable and willing death. The hour is 11 p.m. and I sit at my writing desk in my office. My good friend Azuki stands at my shoulder. He has expressed his intent to invoke the dying ritual of the duel, that I may depart this world with honor. An honor of which I am utterly undeserving. The Japanese are a truly merciful people. I, Clint Van Zieks, Lord of the Manor of the Van Zieks estate, hereby confess to the following. I am the killer who has come to be known in society as the Professor, guilty of 4 counts of murder. I will not here discourse the corruption rife among the aristocracy, which is to me as one of them so apparent. However, 6 months ago, I took the life of a member of the House of Lords at the heart of the depravity. A demon who habitually sacrificed the common man to further his own interests, abusing his position of power. The law is impotent against such vile avarice. Only a fellow demon can rid society of this menace. That demon was my quarry, upon whom I willingly set my great hound. But though I am a hunter of some experience, I am a poor felon, it seems. My guilt was at once recognized by another, and I became subject to his extortion. He held over me the threat of exposing my wicked crime to my beloved wife and brother. Under that threat, I have done this man's bidding for months now, killing those he demanded I kill. As I watched my former mentor perish before my eyes at the jaws of the hound I commanded, I realized that I had lost the last shred of decency within me and sunk to the level of a wild beast. There's no path back to the light. Be it I or my dear friend Azuki who dies this night, I am eternally damned. To my extortioner, male Strongheart, may you feel the jaws of the beast at your throat every time you swallow. He seems content with himself. So now we know, yes, Clint Van Zieks was a murderer, but somebody was directing him and naming his victims. His extortioner, Lord Male Strongheart. It was you.
Lord Strongheart, a moment ago, you claimed that what the court has just heard would destroy justice in this country, but you weren't trying to protect justice at all you were trying to do. was conceal the secret of your true nature and the countless lives you've sacrificed up till now.
It just didn't make sense to me that the third victim, the former Lord Chief Justice, was my brother's benefactor and a man of lofty principles. As I said, Clint had no possible reason to kill the man. But you did, didn't you, Lord Strongheart? To eliminate the man who stood between you and the office you'd set your sights on. So you used your own hunting dog, Lord Clint Van Zieks, to take him down. It had to be done. London's unsavory shadows are deep, and the arm of the law fails to reach their depths. Crime must be cut off at the roots, but the Lord Chief Justice at the time couldn't see that. He was weak. Lofty principles, you say? Tantamount to cowardice, if you ask me. Which is why I took his place, in order to fight the crime he was allowing to spread like wildfire. By murdering the man. The Reaper, the Professor, the name makes no difference. As I've explained countless times already, it was all done for the furtherance of law and order in London.
Objection!
Are you going to legitimize the murder of my father now too? Genshin Azuki, well, that was unfortunate. I had fully intended to send him back to Japan as we'd agreed. I don't believe you. It was you, wasn't it? You killed him. No, it wasn't me who took your father's life. Then who? On the night following his mock execution, I went to Lowgate Cemetery at 3 in the morning with Jigoku. Judge Jigoku? There had to be a collaborator on the Japanese side to manage Azuki's treatment after his repatriation. Jigoku had fierce ambition. It made him easy to manipulate. 10 years ago, after he'd stood trial for the destruction of the witness stand, I had words with him. When I told him the position of Minister of Foreign Affairs could be his, he couldn't agree fast enough.
Seishiro, you fool.
As you know, Azuki escaped the prison in a closed casket and was subsequently interred. We intended to dig him out of his grave before he ran out of air. But sadly, all did not go to plan. There was an unexpected visitor to the cemetery with his own ideas about digging up graves. A man who witnessed what nobody was supposed to see. Enoch Drebber. Of course, I knew grave robbers frequented London cemeteries. But that grave on that particular night. Blast. If people find out the convict wasn't really executed, the scandal will rock the very foundations of the Empire.
Then what do we do?
Shoot him, Mr. Jigoku. Shoot Azuki at once. He can't live now this has happened. He has to go.
What are you talking about? You had an agreement. You promised him he could return to Japan.
Everything has changed now. If the truth got out because of this, both of us would be finished forever. Come on, Jigoku, do it. Pull the trigger. Even then, he is like... He does not do the dirty work himself. He's directing someone else to shoot him. Shoot! Jigoku shot Azuki from the shadows. The grave robber was so close, the blood sprayed over his coat. He fled as fast as his legs would carry him. Then Jigoku and I put Azuki's body back in the grave from which he'd just emerged. When I later learned of the waxwork modeler's presence at the scene as well, I made her swear to 2 things. Never to remove the professor's mask and never to speak of the events of that night. And with that, the secret was buried along with Azuki's corpse. So, now you know what really happened in Lowgate Cemetery that night. Complete silence. It was Jigoku, your Japanese acquaintance, who killed Azuki in the end, you see. He claimed to be the man's friend, but when push came to shove, he pulled the trigger. Just before Mr. Jigoku left the courtroom earlier, he said that the assassin exchange proposal was a demand from his British counterpart, not a request. So you coerced him too, using what happened in the graveyard? By that time, Jigoku was the Minister of Foreign Affairs, negotiating international treaties with Britain. You can imagine what would have happened if it came to light he'd murdered a compatriot 10 years earlier. Holy crap. He would have lost everything. I merely reminded him of that. How do you sleep at night? These past 10 years I've fought tirelessly with the darker recesses of London's criminal underworld, and I've used whatever means necessary to ensure that justice prevails and law and order reigns supreme.
Objection!
That couldn't be further from the truth. The fact is, you haven't fought crime at all. How dare you! I saved Clint Van Zieks from dishonor in his death.
Objection!
Whilst behind the scenes, you systematically buried anyone who stood in your way. And then, you made my father take the blame. It was unavoidable. It was the only way to protect our justice system and public order. Let's not forget the others you had killed as well. Setting the defendant up as the Reaper to cover up the truth behind the murders of countless more. That's enough! Do you have any idea of the conniving that led to the acquittals of those wretched criminals? We have to fight fire with fire. Our courts can't function without a Reaper. Can't you see all I've done for this country? This has been my struggle.
Objection!
You've done nothing. It's Lord Van Zieks here who worked tirelessly and justly in court whilst enduring the disgrace of the Reaper name. And Inspector Gregson, fraught with anguish for having sullied his hands through a desire to do the right thing. Not to mention Genshin Azuki, who risked his life going in pursuit of the truth you tried to hide. No, the darker recesses of London's underworld were largely filled by you. Okay, that's a little bit of a stretch, but I get the point. You leather! When will you get it through your thick skulls? That it was all for the Queen and country? I'm tiring of that excuse. You've consistently twisted the truth for bargaining power to make others do your bidding, nothing more. People who willingly twist the truth and coerce others have no right to call themselves part of the judiciary. I strongly suggest you don't ever talk of justice again. Holy crap. My voice. My poor voice. Slow clap? What is happening? Well, dear me, my good fellows, dear me. A well-deserved round of applause, I think, for a quite marvelous performance. What are you talking about? Those delightfully grave expressions that beautifully pronounce Queen's English. Really, our friends from the Far East are quite a picture of industriousness. You fraud, keep your mockery. Please, don't misunderstand. It really is exactly as you've both said. What are you trying to say? I have occupied the darker recesses of London's underworld, and how did you put it? Done nothing? I confess it's a little embarrassing to have it pointed out quite so starkly, but yes. What? I really have done nothing, which means... What are you talking about now? Have you gone crazy? I can be indicted for nothing, no? Oh. What? What is this argument? It's true, personally, I have committed no crime. He's gone completely crazy. I've merely been surrounded by fools who've acted very rashly indeed.
Objection.
You can't get away with that. You've consistently preyed on people's weaknesses. And what? Threatened them? Are you sure it wasn't just bargaining? I would like to address all the good lords, ladies, and gentlemen of the judiciary here present. You all know of these darker recesses in our great capital, and deep down, I believe you also know that to fight those who dwell there requires at least some of us to occupy the darkness ourselves. I hope no one will agree with that. So let me appeal to your good sense now. Consider the situation with me. If this catalogue of horrifying revelations were to become common knowledge among the 6 million inhabitants of London, what might happen? To learn that the infamous murderer of royals and nobles was a respected member of the aristocracy himself, that evidence was fabricated in the scapegoat's trial amid secret negotiations with prosecutors to effect a jailbreak, that the Reaper of the Bailey was an organized group of assassins managed by a Scotland Yard inspector, and finally, that it was all masterminded by the Lord Chief Justice himself. If the general public of Britain knew the truth, all faith in the police and the prosecutor's office would be completely lost without doubt. Public order in the capital would be completely break down. We'd be cast back to the lawless days of the last century. Precisely, as it was 100 years ago when 1 in 10 of the population were criminals. Think what we've accomplished since then. A public policing force, a comprehensive set of laws. And if we want to continue to protect this new era of law and order, I say again, we must at times occupy the darkness ourselves. We have successfully identified and apprehended the man responsible for taking Gregson's life. That is all that was expected of this trial. All these other matters that have been discussed will be eliminated from the minutes of these proceedings in the interests of preserving law and order, and to protect Her Majesty the Queen, of course. Well, my lords, ladies, and gentlemen, what say you?
He has a point.
The things Lord Tongat has done are quite unforgivable. But on the other hand,
Isn't it our duty to maintain law and order in the capital?
you can't deny that the threat of the Reaper over the years has done wonders for the crime rate.
And by fair means or foul, that's all thanks to Lord Strongheart.
I can't believe it! Are you serious? Holy Jesus! Are you hearing this? This is the will of the British judiciary? For your rousing response, friends, I express my heartfelt gratitude. Therefore, in accordance with the overwhelming wishes of the court, the records shall be erased. You have to respect a man's ability to turn a situation to his favor. Lord Strongheart really is a master of manipulation. You've conclusively proven his guilt, yet still, he manages to evade justice. I just don't know what we can do. Ryunosuke. It looks like the trial really is going to come to an end now. I'm almost out of options, I think. There's really only one path left open to me. What? 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 I can't... What? Oh god. The game wants me to raise an objection here? Use evidence? What? If I need to use evidence, surely I will raise an objection first, right? Wait and see? What is that supposed to do? Oh my god! Okay, let's say. I hated how they're chanting Strongheart in the background. Stop it! Yes, when all the games are over, it's the obvious choice. Let my voice reverberate around the courtroom and make people listen to reason.
Objection!
That was the easy part. But what do I say next? As a man who has fought many battles in this very courtroom, let me offer some advice. Objections need substance behind them, otherwise they are merely objectionable. The defense has no objection to being penalized. What? Fear not, Mr. Naruhodo. I certainly won't object if you decided to make perhaps a wiser choice now. Yes, right, a wise choice, of course. Here it comes. Wait, What? What do you mean? Why couldn't I have presented an evidence after raising an objection? What the heck, game? Yes, I know only too well. The only thing that carries any weight in court is hard evidence. But Mr. Naruhodō, what evidence is there to use at this stage in a trial? That's what I'd like to know. I have an idea. I don't know whether anything will come of it, but if there was ever a time for using this particular item we have among the evidence, it's now.